note it's not the specific collar which is going to make the difference. It's purely the fact that it's going to be a new experience for your dog. It's more about how you're communicating with your dog. A collar, a halter, whatever, sometimes they cause a short-term improvement to a dog's reactivity or pulling or whatever, but it's only ever short term. If a dog doesn't know how not to pull, it will just pull through whatever you put on them. So it's not about the tools, it's about your interaction with your dog via whatever it is you have attached between you and them. So we're looking to build food drive in your dog. We need your dog to want to take food from us when we're out and about. For Labradors and, cheerful, hungry dogs, that generally isn't a problem, but smaller or more picky dogs often need some help to build up their food drive. So food drive and a strong canine work ethic is a crucial part of our training, and it underpins all the work we do as the course progresses. We're building up a skill set to help our dog cope with the triggers that they'll encounter in everyday life. So in terms of building food drive and their general motivation to work, if your dog will take food from your hand, and if they're excited to do it, then that's a good indication they're dialed into their training and they're fully engaged with you in that moment. This is what we want. Let's take it step by step. Food step number 1. So this will be in your home where they usually eat. Ensure that you're feeding them a high quality kibble or raw food or whatever, but it's good just to have a basic kibble that you can use and take out and about with you. So my suggestions might be Black Hawk is what I feed my dogs. They have Black Hawk in the morning and then they have Leica in the evenings. Leica is a real food. It's cooked meat and veggies, so it's a little bit harder to use for training. But it is soft and you can roll it and you can play with it. It's just a bit messier. Obviously kibble is great for that because it's small and compact. But you don't want them eating too much when you're out and about, because being dry, if they have a big drink, it'll just swell in their tummies and they may become overfull. So you just have to be aware of that. Step 2, also in your home, in the same place. Feed your dog at set times during the day. Generally morning and evening. Again, I would suggest split their daily meal between morning and evening. Feed it to them in a basic bowl. Put it down. If they don't eat it all straight away, pick it up and then offer it again at their next meal time. They'll soon get the idea that, the food's there, they need to eat it. If they're not going to eat it, it's not just going to sit there and wait until they feel like it. It's dinner time, eat, don't eat. If you don't eat, you'll have to wait till later. And that just gets them dialed into thinking, I don't just get to help myself to food all day. I get my food when my owner presents it to me in my bowl. Food step number 3, again at home. So once your dog's eating well from their bowl, which means eating all of their food promptly and eagerly, and you may even have to reduce their amount of food. If they're not eating it all, it may just be that you're feeding them too much. So if they're not eating all their food in one go, it may be because you're just offering them too much food for their activity levels and size. So once they're eating well from the bowl, all their food promptly and eagerly, increase the work required to get the kibble by hiding their whole meal inside a snuffle mat or a rolled up tea towel or a rolled up old towel. So they have to fiddle away with their noses, their feet, and work to solve the problem and get that kibble from inside it. Obviously make sure they're supervised when you're doing this, particularly Labradors. They might just eat the whole towel, Beagles, those sorts of hungry dogs could get themselves into trouble doing this. So make sure they're supervised and take the towel away at the end. Food step number 4, get yourself a cardboard box. Make sure it hasn't got any sharp edges. Lie it open on its side and put the food bowl inside the box. Tell your dog it's dinner time and let them eat from inside the box. This increases the challenge a little more. They have to put their head inside a dark place. Obviously they're having to trust that they're in safe surroundings when they do this. It helps to build resilience, helps to build their nerve a little bit, and makes it more interesting. A little bit of work required. And then once they're happy doing that, you can add in the snuffle mat or the rolled up towel inside the box again. So they're working, but they're working inside the box. Then once they're happy with that, you can position the cardboard box upright. So they have to climb in and fiddle around, and maybe it falls over and makes a weird noise and the food goes everywhere and the bowl clatters. All these things that make it more challenging help to build their nerve and build their eagerness to get to that food and to work for that food. And everything just becomes that bit more interactive and difficult. You know, we want mealtime to be puzzle time. We want their lives to be interesting. So once they're confidently tackling all those challenges that you've set them, and they're eagerly eating their breakfast and their dinner in one go, you know, keen, dribbling maybe while you're scooping it out the bag, you know they're dialed in, then we take it out on the road. Even before you do that, you can play games inside. So again, if you don't mind rolling food around on your floor, or you could do it in your yard, get pieces of their kibble or their whatever food it is they have, and roll it along the ground, so it becomes something they have to chase and grab, and then maybe, you know, you can throw it a little bit up in the air and they can jump and catch it. And again, we're making that food delivery into a game rather than just a meal on a plate in front of them. What I would say is, if you're doing this, don't ask for obedience when you're doing it. So we don't want to be saying, okay, sit, you have to sit and then you get your food, because that makes it a little bit stressful for the dog. You know, we're sort of putting on that social pressure. We're probably leaning over them and the dog's just like, oh, I just want my food. It's not fun for them. So you can do a bit of luring. So, you know, you take your food like this and you can do a bit of luring, make it fun that way. And it's an interactive thing. You know, the dog's trying to chase the food to get the food, and it's not that you're telling them what to do. You're playing the game with them. But it needs to feel like a game and not a lesson, okay? On to step 6, out and about. So take their whole meal in a treat pouch, take it out with you, and you know, you just feed them from your hand. Same thing as you were doing inside with the rolling and the luring, having fun, but you're just outside doing it so that they get used to and enjoy taking food from you when they're out and about. It's not about feeding them treats. It's not about feeding higher and higher and higher value treats. It's just, you know, a piece of kibble. But the point is, it's fun with you getting that kibble. You know, it's a game, it's a competition. And as I said, it just builds that work ethic in them, that competitive spirit. And don't take each step too quickly. Wait till they're confident in the previous stage before you move to the next. Some will find the box feeding challenging. You know, they might be a bit timid, might not want to dive into a box to grab their food. You know, just take that slowly, keep the box on its side for longer so it's not going to tip over. Just be guided by your dog. We want it to be fun for them. So what's the reason for all this faffing around? What we're doing, we're instilling a work ethic in our dogs. So food becomes something worth working for. They stop taking it for granted, and it turns into a way for us to engage with them and to build value in their interactions with us, rather than just the food itself. It's the interaction with us, and the food is a bridge between the two of us.